20-year-old Malone wasn't just rich. Overnight, he became one of the wealthiest people on the planet. The crazy part? He wasn't a tech genius, he didn't build a billion-dollar startup, and he didn't start buying Bitcoin in 2015. He simply woke up one morning, pulled off a simple scam trick, and walked away with over $230 million in Bitcoin. No hacking, no coding, just one simple email, a bit of social engineering, and the audacity to pull off one of the biggest crypto heists in history. So how does a random 20-year-old kid go from absolute zero to Bitcoin millionaire overnight? And more importantly, did he get away with it? This is the insane story of how a Minecraft kid managed to fool one of the richest crypto enthusiasts on the planet. Before the supercars, the penthouses, and blowing $500,000 in nightclubs, Malone was an ordinary kid from Singapore, a student at Unity Secondary School. He wasn't the son of billionaires or a self-taught hacker. He was just a kid who loved playing Minecraft. That's what he spent all his free time on, especially on competitive servers, where players didn't just fight. They scammed, betrayed their allies, and pulled off elaborate heists. It was a game of deception and manipulation. And here's where it gets interesting. Through that server, Malone met his future partner in crime, Gian D.L. Serrano. Who would have thought that one of the biggest crypto heists in history would start with two teenagers scamming people in Minecraft? Eventually, Malone's interest shifted from Minecraft to crypto. Not just investing, he wanted to understand the whole system, how wallets work, how transactions are tracked, how people actually make money, but more importantly, how people get tricked. He spent hours on Reddit and Discord, watching victims lose their savings to fake meme coins, phishing attacks, and shady deals. He realized that stealing Bitcoin could make him way more money than regular trading ever could.
Malone was ready to play big. And when you play big, there's one rule: pick the right target. He wasn't looking for some random user. He was looking for the perfect victim. Someone so confident in their own security that they wouldn't even realize they were being scammed until it was too late. And eventually, Malone found him. Sam Lessin, a Silicon Valley pioneer, a guy who built, invested in, and scaled some of the most powerful tech companies in the world. Lessin wasn't some crypto scammer. He was an architect of the digital economy, one of those people pulling strings from the shadows. And he wasn't just rich. His net worth was in the billions. If you're going to scam someone in cyberspace, wouldn't Sam Lessin be one of the worst possible targets you could pick? Saying this guy knew tech security would be a massive understatement. Strong passwords, layers of protection, his wallet should have been an impenetrable fortress. But ironically, none of it mattered, because it doesn't matter how many firewalls, passwords, or encryption layers you have, if you just hand over the keys yourself.
You'd think pulling off something this huge would require being a master hacker, but here's the thing. All Malone needed was one simple email. Here's how it went down. Make your target panic. First rule of scamming someone at this level: make the victim believe their whole life is in danger. Malone and Serrano knew that Sam's biggest asset wasn't his wealth, it was his ego, a guy who prided himself on digital security, so they hit him right where it hurt, his reputation. They created fake security alerts, making it look like there had been a serious breach of Sam's Google account. To make the deception super convincing, they used proxy servers and VPNs to make it seem like login attempts were coming from Russia or North Korea, because everyone knows when Russian hackers are trying to get into your account, nothing good is coming out of it. The email said Sam needed to reset his password immediately to secure his account. Without thinking, he clicked the link, which took him to a replica of the Google login page. Sam entered his old password and set a new one, and without even realizing it, he had just handed Malone the keys to his account on a silver platter. Step 2 was getting access. They logged into Sam's account and started digging through everything they could find: emails, files, messages, and finally they struck gold: bank statements, exchange logs, and most importantly, the backup recovery codes for his crypto wallets. That was the holy grail. With those codes, they bypassed every layer of security Sam had set up. They logged into his wallets and transferred the funds to smaller wallets they had prepared in advance, spreading the money around to make it harder to trace. In just a couple of hours, $230 million vanished from Sam's accounts. No notifications, no fraud alerts, nothing. A simple copy-paste, and a 20-year-old Minecraft player suddenly became one of the richest people on Earth.
You wake up.
You just pulled off one of the biggest crypto heists in history. Most people would go underground and do everything possible to stay off the radar. But Malone Lam? He took a different path. Spend it all and post it all on social media. In the days following the heist, he hit the clubs, blowing $500,000 a night. Then came the cars, gold-plated Lamborghinis, custom Ferraris, and Porsches, each worth over $3 million. Malone wasn't hiding. He was living like the richest people in the world. He rented a mansion for around $100,000 a month, bought multiple Rolexes, designer clothes, and sneakers. If his hands could reach it, he bought it, because his Bitcoin wallet basically held the GDP of a small country. But with all that spending and social media posting, there was one problem. Someone's always watching.
The FBI was already tracking the stolen funds, and they quickly connected the dots between Malone's spending and the missing Bitcoin. The truth is, Bitcoin isn't as anonymous as people think. Every transaction is recorded on the blockchain and stays there forever. Once Sam contacted authorities, they started tracing the money trail. Here's what they found. The 4,100 Bitcoin taken from Sam's wallet were instantly split into smaller transactions and sent through mixers to hide the trail. But Malone and Serrano made a critical mistake. They started moving huge amounts of money through exchanges to cash out. That was a rookie-level error. The FBI didn't take long to track them down. SWAT busted into his apartment. They caught Malone on the spot. His partner Serrano didn't get far. They nabbed him at the airport in Los Angeles. Authorities immediately froze the accounts, seized the assets, and took everything they could. All the cars, the watches, the mansion, gone. Malone and Serrano are still awaiting trial. No one knows how harsh the sentence will be, but there's no happy ending in sight for them. Charges? Conspiracy to commit wire fraud, money laundering, and identity theft. They're facing up to 20 years in prison and fines in the hundreds of thousands. But here's the kicker. Not all of the $230 million has been recovered. Authorities are still hunting for money that mysteriously disappeared. Maybe Malone wasn't that naive after all. Maybe he hid the stolen crypto to use it as leverage for a lighter sentence. Or maybe the money is just sitting somewhere in cold storage, waiting for someone to find it.